till I came here.
Godfall. It's a cool game. Wasn't Destiny or anything, but I don't know, they made a good attempt. If there's like a Godfall 2, I can see that probably being better. It's tough because it's a it's a launch title. It was a next-gen console PS5 launch title. Well, that's how I look at it. PS5 next-gen, basically. Whatever. So, and that's no excuse either, because like RE8 was in that same boat. Pretty much the first games that came out during, or they got announced beforehand or came out slightly after, whatever. But I mean, RE8 was as solid as a game as it could have been. I think it's kind of in the same realm as this one. Like a Dragon, Yakuza. It's weird though, I feel like all these next-gen games, there's just something missing. Like even now. They're just so focused on looking good and being pretty, and it's been a thing for a while, at least since I've noticed since about PS4 Pro, but that was always kind of had a nice balance with the base PS4. It was either that much better or just stayed the same. There wasn't really... All these games keep trying it, especially when a lot of these games are also last-gen games, except for this one, next-gen only. I'm definitely going off of visual, because I think that's kind of... The game is kind of whatever. I think if you're gonna play this, you're gonna play it because like it looks pretty and vibrant, and the colors and the style and the... It has Destiny vibes, it has... It's fantasy, it's knights and armor and swords and spear, whatever. But it's not... I wouldn't expect it to like blow anybody away. Because even playing it now, it still kind of feels like... It could have been better, the controls could have been better. The mobility's kind of... meh. There's too many... There's not a lot of great... It felt like playing Anthem. It just felt not really unfinished, but like... And they did plenty, but I feel like they could have done... Maybe not more, but just different. Like, It could be the UI, it could be the quality of life, it could be... grappling onto stuff. A lot of little things I didn't particularly like, but that's just getting like picky. It's not even climbing up walls, just like a lot of little really off kind of things. But on top of that, like, it did feel good. It does look pretty. If you have like a good monitor to go with it, it makes a big difference. There wasn't really much of a story. It's pretty generic. Like, I think the guy sounds like Liam Neeson. I don't think it is. I don't feel like that adds up, but that Liam Neeson kind of like the main guy, very Qui-Gon Jinn, like the man, the cool uncle, the eventually cool grandpa kind of guy. very wise, knowledgeable, powerful, smart. Very king-like, very royal, very... This game is definitely like gods and gold and plunder and... But it's like aliens, but they're creatures. It's kind of space-like, but it's not. It's very... It's hard to tell what this game is doing or trying to do. It's so good. Like, it doesn't have to be looked at in that way, but... This is one of those things I kind of look past a lot of those things in a way, because, like, it is what it is. If it looks fun, if it looks interesting, if it looks like something I would like or have played before, that's all kind of the reason I need. But, you know, if you're someone who's, like, trying to understand the lore, what's going... I wouldn't say there's much lore, really, but just, like... You know, the big bad guy, kind of like your brother or something. You don't fight him till the end. Very Sauron, very Lord of the Rings, like... You know, take down all his commanders and generals to get to him, and the side bosses, and the second in command. It's that perfect blend of good versus evil. It's... red and blue, it's exactly... It's generic, it's simple, it's basic, it's been done before, but it's effective and it works. What's cool about this is it's a melee Destiny. As someone who's played plenty of that game, it's cool to come over here and do something different. Is it better or worse? It's hard to tell because it's such a... It's so opposite from what everything that I've known before, what this game is capable of and can do. So it's kind of hard to place it or tell it... or determine where it's at with whatever, because there's so much criteria to go off of. It's... I don't know. It sounds cool, Godfall. If it has the word God in it, it's probably pretty cool. I like knights and, you know, chivalry and very fancy, and it's kind of the perfect game for me because, like, I'm so open to things anyway, and if you're gonna play something like this, you just gotta be open to it. Not try to understand it or logic or this or that, but just enjoy it for what it is. But of course, this has that theme and that style where, other than it being a next-gen game and a launch title, and there's all kinds of different reasons to play it, but I think it all kind of has to come together for you to actually want to... I actually like that it's next gen only because it's one of the few games that has enough respect for itself to be like, hey man, this... It requires a powerful enough console to even play the damn thing because it looks so good and because the visuals and the frames are really nice and it's all there. It's like a really nice Astrobot or whatever that game's called. Those demo games that... It's like an early access trial beta. It's just this really bare bones, shallow... And to be honest, that's kind of how Destiny is. It's not really like... It just goes off of what works and it knows what it's doing. It doesn't depend so much on kind of the details and this and that. It's just like, hey man, if this is down your alley, great. It's something for you to play. Like it, hate it, love it, what, doesn't matter. It's there. That's about all this game has a kind of a place for, is just being kind of available and out there, and mean, if one were to get like a next-gen console today, it wouldn't be the worst game to start with. I think it's a very nice introduction to what these consoles are capable of now. But beyond that, it's like kind of, eh. Cutscenes are cool.
This is the Earth Realm, where our adventure begins.
Yeah, I pretty much beat it, played till the end. There's some stuff to do afterwards, but I wasn't really as worried about all that. It's something they want you to play, like, grind and do this and that, and but I kind of did everything I wanted to do. I got, like, all my armor sets, and but it's a looter game. It's a looter slasher, which most of the time is gun related, so that is cool. That's kind of its hook, really. Yeah, you can like collect stuff if you really want to. I mean, you could put a decent amount of time into it if it's that worth it, but I think it's one of those games you'll play, kind of be done with it. Something to try out, it's something to play, it's something to whatever. It's just a shame because I like what it represents and what it stands for, and the game itself and the gameplay, and it's kind of just there. I don't think this is ever gonna get a sequel. I really don't know. I wouldn't mind it. I'd play it. But I also wouldn't be like too worried about it either. It's tough though, because when it is one of those games they expect you to spend a lot of time in. That's why it looks so good and everything's so pretty, eye candy. When I got the new monitor I'm using now, this was actually the game I was playing during. And it wasn't so much because of this game as why I got a better monitor, but more so it just kind of happened to work out that way. But it's tough setting it up at first, like getting it figured out. Having it work the way I want to. It's fine now, but I noticed the game looking a lot better. So I think that's really important. I think that's what makes it worth it, especially like if you got a big old TV, there's like great audio. It's just a nice game to go in and play. It's not really so much like you're expecting to get anything out of it, like, ooh, that was a crazy story, or it's epic though. It's something you want to start up and play and see till the end and finish and complete. Like, it's that good. I just hate that most games I play or something like this, I always see more potential and it could do more, it could be better. There's always, or maybe I'm just greedy, because you know what, like, it's a damn good it's a damn good game. Like, it's so easy to kind of point out its flaws. That's not hard to do. But even just getting like a refresher lately, I was like, man, it just, I don't know. It's cozy, it's comfy. It's definitely something you could sit down and kind of immerse yourself in and get lost in, and like at first there's a lot to learn. The combat, it's definitely not just kind of point and shoot and a couple abilities here and there. It's like, you know, the skill trees, and it's kind of gotta press this for hold this down, or like combine these two. It's kind of, it's hard. Like, it takes a while to kind of get the flow of it, and the smoothness and dodging and blocking and parrying, and you know, it's probably not a whole lot different than playing Dark Souls in that way, as in like just simply getting through whatever's in front of you. But it's so stylistic that you can kind of do things that are really flashy, whether they're actually effective or not, but it still looks cool or feels good or you feel powerful. That's what you're supposed to feel like too, because you're like this immortal thing. I think one thing that bugged me is there wasn't a lot of life in the game. I think that's kind of its worst thing, is like there's plenty of dialogue and talking and voice acting, but it's just killing creatures, and you know, all your characters have a mask over it, so you can't really see them talk or expression. Which is fine. There doesn't always have to be that, but it definitely does help kind of bring a little bit more organic life into the game, which it's never a bad thing. The only person who talks where you can actually see your eyes and lips move kind of is this one. It's like a floating face. That's the best you're gonna get. That's kind of most of what I do, or most of what I enjoy or play or decided to kind of make my thing or something, is like these single player story driven games. Something to really kind of try to at least attempt to lose yourself in and just kind of escape a little bit and relax and enjoy your adventure and your journey and getting stronger along the way, and I love seeing where you started to where you're at now and everything in between, the filler, like you put the time in and it's rewarding. It feels good. Like you do get stronger and you get more suits and cool like armor stuff and cosmetic things. Yeah, after playing Destiny for 5 years, coming to this was really nice and refreshing and something new and felt good. Because after quitting that game and playing something like this, if Destiny had something like this, that'd be fantastic. Just there's no online, there's no PvP, PvE, matchmaking, multiplayer, this and that, blah blah blah. Just a nice game to just play. That's not tied to like this and that, and you go in, you do your thing, you have the best time you possibly can, you get out, on to the next thing. But yeah, I just I don't know. I really like this game, but it's you can't really go wrong with it. It's kind of one of those things where, do I recommend it to anybody and everybody? No. But I play a lot of similar games, I feel like everything I do play, it's kind of for a reason, and nothing's ever completely random, or like it all ties into either who I am, my personality, my character, what I kind of choose to represent myself and who I am and the things I enjoy and have enjoyed throughout life, movies, games, music, whatever it may be. I like space, I like fantasy, I like knights, I like weapons, I like melee, I like creatures and monsters and beautiful landscapes and the nice scenery and the kind of a whole nother world, a different dimension. It's exactly what this game does. It hits all those marks. And it kind of gets away from that dystopian kind of thing, which is kind of nice for a change, but it's because of the dystopia, I think, that really has it kind of come together a little bit more. Because you're kind of just thrown in and all of a sudden you're just doing this and that. Not a lot of things really add up, but I guess they don't have to, but... Yeah, the gameplay is good. Yeah, it's cool. It definitely feels like one of those games that's like, you know, you picture the studio, the devs kind of just being like, hey guys, you know what works? A Destiny clone. You know what works? You know what people like? You know what a majority of people probably like, especially as gamers or whatever the demographic or stereotype is that they're going for? What I like about this is that what they set to put out and do, they did it. There's no confusion here, there's no like, this is trying to be something else entirely, or this and that, a mix of things. It's kind of just... It's there. And sometimes I kind of like that. It's kind of like... I guess a negative way to look at it is it's kind of a sellout because of, you know, it's like, okay, I get it, cool to be cool. I understand what that's like. Showing off, flexing, that's all this game is about. It's just kind of being this badass. And to be fair, that's the point of most games, but here it's obviously very exaggerated and... cool. But it's something I can relate to because it's like, I know exactly what it's like. I'm more of like fashion over function kind of thing. Like, I just want to look good, man. I want to look good doing what I do. I want to be good. I want to impress somebody, something. Just be that cool guy, that all-rounder, talented. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but it's just, you know, that person that likes to show off and boast and parade around and be the center of attention and you get the girls, you get the ladies, you got all the friends, you may or may not be doing well, successfully, whatever, blah blah blah. That's the type of person this game points to, is like, hey man, do you like nice stuff? Do you like to look good? Do you like to... And that's Destiny in a nutshell. That's the community of Destiny, really. You know, hey, you got good music taste, you like to have a good time, party, and may or may not be into skateboard and have hobbies, just the creative, interesting people, but you still kind of know how to have a good time too, and yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like a game just like this really puts that all out on the front there. Because I play a lot of games, I'm so interested in a lot of different things. Not too many things, but I think just enough to kind of make it matter and have it kind of be some kind of cohesive package profile. I mean, the audience for this game, the people know exactly who it is. There's no, that's what I like about it, is it doesn't fuck around. It's not like, oh, you could be this person or that person. It's not something that's trying to reach out too much to like everybody, because I think out of everybody could play this, but it's definitely going to be more of like around here where and to be fair, a lot of games, especially nowadays, these days, they really do try to copy other games. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's understandable, because it's like, hey man, It all has been done before. It's been done by now. We've seen it before. Nothing really surprises us nowadays. It's not... Originality is such a hard thing to come by. Dude, first of all, the human race has been around forever, man, so good luck trying to stand out that way, because we've been doing the same kind of bullshit for so long. And, the same movies have been made over and over, basically. The games, everything. It's not hard to find something original up to a point to where it's kind of obvious that, like, okay, you as a person are unique in your own way, and you are gonna only do things this way, but yeah, it could be very similar to other things around you, or things that you would maybe notice more. Because you're always kind of seeking like-minded people and, people that like the same things as you, similarities and commonality, and like Godfall, it's not the fan base, it's not gonna be like, oh, I like Alien, oh, I like shooters. It's never gonna be something so specific like that. It's gonna be kind of this universal, which is nice. I really like that I feel like it's confused on who they are, what this game's trying to do, but it knows enough to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm here. This is who I am. It accepts that. And it's probably the biggest thing to get out of a game like this, because it's like, well, yeah, there's this and there's all kinds of things implemented into the game itself, but ultimately it's this experience. It's living your life through a virtual world, a game, a video game. And, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Because you can't ever deny games like that where it's like, hey, this really speaks to me and it calls to me and it sends me messages. Because you always gain things out of... You want to learn more about yourself and who you are, and you can find out more about that through a game, I feel like, is something that kind of reflects upon you and acts as like a mirror or a... And most games I play, like, yeah, I like anime, I like EDM, I like military stuff, I like horror games, I like racing and fighting, blah blah blah. But when it comes to this type of thing, it's just spot on. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Because of what this game is, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, but you put all the pieces together and you're like, yeah, this is kind of... I get it, I understand it, and I like feeling that way, because I think most games I'm either just passively playing it to play it. A lot of games represent pieces of me, but this game is kind of like all of that together. It's just nice and bundled up, and like that really divine, spiritual, natural, organic kind of that synergy. There's just good chemistry with this game, and I can't really express that enough. That's what I can definitely appreciate about it the most. Which is actually really nice to say, because, man, some games I'm like, what the hell? Why am I playing this? Why did I waste my time? What was I doing? I don't want to make it sound like I'm giving this game too much credit, because that's definitely not the case, but man, I could say so many more better things about it than most games. It's kind of ridiculous. Because that's exactly what you're doing, is finding games that you can identify with. And I feel like most of the time, it may or may not make sense on the surface or whatever, I don't know, but I'm glad this game came out. I'm glad it was a PS5 next gen title. I'm glad I got to play it and have it be in my life, and it exists and it's a thing, and and I like consciously know that, subconsciously, and it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel cozy, and like knowing the fact that there are games out there that understand me. There are people out there that made these games that understand me, and but I feel like most of the time it gets so muddy and chaotic and crazy of the gaming industry as a whole and everything that they put out, and it's like, oh, this looks great, it looks cool, but I don't ever expect too much either. And like this game, I was kind of in that same boat about, but because of what it is, I just enjoyed it that much more than I'd probably be able to enjoy most games, but it's never a bad thing. But yeah, Godfall, it's pretty good. That's about it.